Welcome to another week of Family Life with Mama Rita. It's been a very good week. The Lord has been with us. The Lord has protected us. The Lord has covered us. He has blessed our going out. He has blessed our coming in. He's blessed the water we drink. He's blessed the food we eat. Sometimes when we wake up and everything is okay, we forget to say thank you to the Lord. My darling, your being alive is by grace. Your going up and down is by grace. Your being able to talk is by grace. I'm telling you, there are people in the hospital now that can talk. There are people in the hospital now that can lift up their hands. If you have woken up Wednesday morning, you've gone through the day, another evening has come, my darling. If you forgot to say thank you to the Lord this morning, I want you to remember to say thank you before you go to bed. Today we want to do Ask Mama Rita. We have so many questions. So many questions. And I trust we'll be able to finish it. If we are not able to finish it, like I say, answer your questions, we will answer all. If we are not able to finish them, I will come your way again next week with Ask Mama Rita. If we are able to answer all the questions today, then we'll do something next week. Hey, co-host.
Yes, Mommy.
I haven't seen you since Sunday.
Hey, it's been
and
a while.
I miss you.
I've missed
not
you too
seeing
much.
you for 24 hours is like not seeing you for a whole year. Oh my God. What do we have today?
Well, it's another exciting moment and episode like Mommy has just said. Keep your questions coming through, +233-200-515-253, and use the hashtag AskMamarita, AskMamarita. And across all platforms or socials, we definitely are going to pick your comments, your questions, and Mommy, together with her seasoned counselors,
I'm about to welcome them. I haven't seen them for how long? I'm not sure.
It's been a while.
They haven't been in the studio
for
a while.
Favorites.
But they are a couple you know so well.
Yeah.
We celebrated 20 years. How many years ago? 2 years. It's already been 2 years.
Yes.
Oh my God.
2 years.
Wow.
2 years ago, we celebrated their 20 years. And I haven't seen them in the studio for a while, but today I am here to welcome Reverend and Mrs. Patrick Eosin to help me do Ask Mama Rita. I miss you guys. What's happening in your end? Children's 18 service, BCE. Choosing of school, WASI. Oh my God. And what is also happening with the accounts office?
The convention was a busy period.
Very busy period.
So we were,
I know.
Afterwards, to,
closing late every day.
Yeah.
People don't know. And then what is happening at the teen service?
Oh, Mommy, the teen service is vibrant.
Ice!
And
I know you are preparing for Christmas.
Hey, Mommy.
Please don't come and look for money from me.
Mommy,
and they like big things.
Mommy,
they don't have money.
Worry not.
I hear they want to do dinner again this year.
Yes. In fact, we are doing dinner again.
I'm sure their dinner dresses are ready. They can't wait to wear dinner dresses again.
And this year we are doing the children said masquerade dinner.
Hey, and also what is that one?
Wearing
AKA Kaka Motobi dinner.
Hey,
a slight mask, not a big one.
Co-host.
Yes. Please, Reverend Arnold, masquerade is not the same as Kaka Motobi, please. So go and find the meaning of masquerade dinner. Masquerade, Yeah. We are going to be ready for them. We'll be ready for them. Okay, so like Mommy has said, a lot of questions. And please keep them coming in. We'll address those that we get as we also take some of the existing ones that we have with us. So, Mommy, we should the first one says, good evening, Mommy. God richly bless you as you always bless our marriages with seasoned advice. I have been married for 14 years, and never in my life Has my husband supported anything I wanted to do?
Wow.
Wow, 14 years.
14 years.
It's a big shot. I have to always take initiatives and do things by myself, from setting up business to helping the home, etc., etc. Anytime I ask for his support, it's either he's not available or he has no money. Mommy, he is a good person in a lot of other respects, but most of this nature he shows towards outsiders and not me. And this I have watched painfully for the past 14 years. I have never complained. I have never complained, and I hardly rely on him for support, but I am getting tired. Please, how do I approach this?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Reverend Patrick, very, very interesting.
Very interesting.
I wonder
The man
what's
is a good man,
yeah.
but in this aspect is lacking.
Yeah.
He doesn't support, I believe, doesn't support financially, and also doesn't support morally. I mean, being there for her. So I don't know what we have to tell her.
I wonder what is even the trigger point
Yeah.
after 14 years.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Naturally, after 14 years, you will feel depleted, for want of a better word. You feel like you have given all that you can, and you have not had any support, so you feel that way. But let me just do a little amendment to what you said. There's nobody who never does something.
That's right.
Definitely, he's probably doing something may not be significant. But one of the things we advocate is never use the word never in all the advice we give to couples. However, the way to resolve this, I believe, will be a calm conversation with your husband to outline the areas that you need support. And the word to use is you need support. Because as we both understand, a husband and a wife work together to achieve the objectives of their marriage. And so you cannot do it alone. So you are craving his support in the areas that you would outline. And maybe there may have been events in the past that have caused him to take this position. So when you have that conversation with him, he will lay it out on the table. He might not, depending on how the conversation goes. But if you're able to get him to lay out the reasons for which you don't get the expected support, then it can be addressed. The only way to take this to the next level is to know what the challenge is, and then it can be addressed. That will be the way. So to get him to talk, you can begin yourself. If you don't get success, then bring in your pastors or your counselors or an elderly person that he respects. But I would say approach it cautiously and respectfully. Otherwise, then he'll move from level 1, which is a bad level, to a worst level, which you don't want. Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah,
Mama Rosemont.
Let me also look at it this way, not to endorse what the man is doing, but if I listen to her carefully, she said the man is good in
other areas.
My darling, don't stress yourself. Sometimes we cry wolf when the wolf is not there.
That's right.
You can't have a perfect man. He is strong in some places, but weak in other places. For all you know, this is his weakness. So if you can look at the good things that he does, and close your eye on this one, and let it not be like you are nagging or you are complaining. He will come out and say that, what about the other things that I do? If you are not careful, you lose those ones also. So if 14 years, you've been able to live with it, and now it's becoming a border, you can raise it once, but don't let it be a place where you've been knocking all the time and creating a big issue out of it. The man does something. So focus on that one and give him the love and respect that is due him. And let not this one be a big issue.
I think I was going to say the same thing. You said the man is good in certain areas. So take advantage of the areas that he's good on and let him help you there. And Reverend Patrick said, discuss with him. For all you know, he doesn't even know what you need and where you need help. Number 2, maybe he tried once and, you know, you did something that put him off. So you need to have a discussion with him. If you have the discussion with him and it's still the same, my darling, concentrate on the ones that he's good on. And then you also do this aspect of your life. You didn't tell us what he's good in. I mean, I don't know. But if he's a man that takes good care of the house, he's responsible towards the children, and blah, blah, but doesn't support your business, my darling, let him do the things that he knows how to do best. Let this one not be a bone of contention, but well, first talk to him about it. People come to me and they complain about their spouses. You meet the spouses and they had no clue. I mean, they had no clue that this is what their spouses were expecting. So sometimes this is what we want them to do, but they have no idea that this is what our partners want us to do. Yeah. So communicate with him in a very nice way. Yeah. If after the communication there's still no improvement, my darling, let this not be a problem in the marriage. Let him do the ones that he knows how to do best, and then you concentrate on this one and then do it.
I mean, sometimes too, I think when we begin the relationship, we want to prove ourselves. Yeah. We want the men to know that we did. Yeah. We can do it. Yeah. So maybe from the beginning, you've been in charge of your life all the time. And for all you know, the man is admiring you for that. Yeah. And now, because you were trying to quote and unquote impress. That's right. And you can't live that life forever. Now you're feeling it. Yeah. It's not the man's fault. Yeah. If that is what happened, you can't discuss with the man that, Charlie, beginning I was trying to impress you, but now I got to a place where I think that I need you. I need financial help. Yes. I need moral support when I'm going around doing my business. I need a man around me. I need you to help me. We're taking decisions. I mean, when you get, we are all human beings. I always say that nobody can stay in an island. When you get to a place where you think that now you need help, my darling, call for help.
Just a little tweak there, just to add. You know, you stress on need. Yeah. Men have that ego thing. That's right. If you approach him on that level that I need you, he's much more willing and empowered to support. Than if you come criticizing and say, I need this, I want this, and you don't do it, then forget. It's not coming.
Well, next one says, good evening, Mama Rita.
Good evening, my darling.
Please, I'm a married woman, and we've been married for 8 years.
Wow.
This was another interesting one, but kind of related. It says, since I married my husband, my salary has been more than twice his own. But we are able to manage. I do most of the financial issues in the house, and my husband does his best as a man, and I really appreciate him. However, my husband lost his job a year ago, and prior to that, I had taken a loan for our car, and so the burden has become so much on me. I try selling stuff to augment our income to support the family. This is not an issue to me. My problem, however, is my in-laws worry a lot. With a little thing, they blow it up. And anytime I raise this with my husband, his approach always seems to be siding with his family. This is breaking me up and giving me a second thought. Please, how do I approach this? 8 years in marriage.
Second thought about what? Mama Rosemont. How are you?
So the problem is not your husband, but the in-laws. They are the one creating the problem. I always say that once you marry a man or you marry a woman, vice versa, you marry the family as well. I don't know the relationship between you and your in-laws. But if it is that cordial, I think you can approach them as a daughter and have a chat with them that this is the issue and this is how best I am helping. How can you also help me? Sometimes if you go to them as a need, you go to them with a need, and you go to them as a daughter, they seem to understand you as a daughter and help. But and then secondly, how is your complaint to your husband? Is it in the nagging way, or you are telling him that his parents are not doing well, or his parents are interfering? Definitely he will support his parents, but let it be a conversation rather than a complaint. If it is a conversation and the two of you agree on something, then you can handle it together. But if you go with a complaint, it will look like you are complaining about my parents. You won't get the best out of the man.
Remember, Patrick?
I think this is...
So I think Mama Rosemond answered it. If your in-laws, I wouldn't say they are misbehaving, but if they are doing things you don't like, and you go to your husband to complain, my darling, remember that the two shall be one. In the same way, his mom or his parents are your parents. If you see it that way and you come in that approach, things will be better. But if you go in the approach of, it's your mom or it's your dad or your parents, talk to them with that nagging, you know, you would have a problem. Let him know that, your parents did this, your mom did this, and I think that they went overboard. Please, I think that it would be nice to talk to them. If I go to talk to them, they might not understand, they might think that I'm being rude, they might think that, but I think that it would be very nice to mention it a bit to your parents. I believe that, like Mama Rosemond is saying, if you come from that angle, things will be better. But Mama Rosemond, I have seen people, husbands, who can never talk to their parents about negative things. I think maybe it's their upbringing. They didn't have that kind of relationship with their parents where they can go to the parents and say, Mom, you did this, you didn't do well, or, you know, the way you are talking to my wife, I don't like it, or you are taking certain decisions in the home that, you know, some spouses were not brought up like that. They were brought up in that strict, you can't speak your mind, you can't talk to your parents, that kind of thing. So normally when, especially the men come from such homes, you never get them to say anything negative to their parents. So in that case, what does the wife do?
That's a difficult one.
Yeah.
So I think that, so let me answer by giving a scenario, a couple that I know. The grandmother of the husband is not well. The grandmother gave birth to one daughter, which is the husband's mom. And the woman who gave birth to one son, which is the husband.
Wow.
And according to the husband's mom, it is my grandmother, it's my mom who took care of you. So now that my mom is not well, you should take care of my mom. You get it? So the daughter moved her mother to stay with the grandson and the wife. But the woman is not in good terms with the son's wife. So anytime she comes to the house, there's a lot of fight and bickering, and you're not taking care of my mom well, and insulting, and unfortunately for the woman too, she hasn't given birth. So the insult goes along those lines. And the man is not able to approach the mother.
The grandmother?
No, the mother. The grandmother is paralyzed. And doesn't talk.
So it's the mother who comes complaining. You are not taking care of my mother well. That's your grandmother.
Exactly. And is blaming the wife.
Can you imagine?
It's the son's wife who gets all the insults. And the son is not able to
talk to the
mom. The mom. So what did he do? He approached family members. Family elders. His family elders.
That's very
that this is the issue I'm getting in my house. Can you call my mom and correct her for me? So I believe that if the man or if you, and that is why you have to be on good terms with your in-laws.
That's right.
You cannot enter into a marriage and feel like everybody is beneath me and you can't come to my house, and because some of these issues you cannot handle it.
No, you
need
can't.
family elders to come in for you. If this girl was not in good terms with the family elders, today the grandmother is dead, and because of the daughter-in-law, not the boy's mom, because of the woman's son's wife, which is the son's wife.
Okay.
Family members are coming to do what needs to be done, because they said their daughter does not respect.
Wow.
Which is the boy's mom.
The boy's mom does not respect.
The family members say that left to this our daughter alone, like won't come. But we look at what you did for our sister.
Wow.
Wow. Yes. Wow. So now she is getting all the credit. After all the insults from the mother-in-law,
she's getting the credit.
Because of her, the husband's family members are willing to come and sit and do the food.
Wow.
So it pays
to be nice.
Yeah. So in this case, if your husband is not moving, you can approach the family head and they will come in for you.
I think that's a very good thing. So if you have a husband or a wife, it can be both sides. You have a husband or a wife that can't talk to the parents when the parents misbehave in your own home. I think that it requires that you talk to family members, you know. I think that your sister or whatever is going overboard in my home, my own marital home. So I think that it would be nice to come and talk to them. Wow, that's very good.
That's interesting. Another angle, I don't think she had these complaints until the man lost the job. So, which also means probably the way the man was taking care of the in-laws, he's unable to do that anymore. And the in-laws are seeing you still dressed in the Brazilian hair. They don't know that it's the Brazilian hair you bought 3 years ago that you've refurbished it. So, we pray that the Lord will make a way for your husband to get another economic activity that will augment the finances at home. And I'm very sure with the counsel you've received and then the recovery of his income, a lot will go well in your family. May the Lord honor you. Yes, Mommy.
This is where it's also good to be a very good daughter-in-law. At the time the man was working and providing for his family, things were okay. Now that he's not providing, I'm sure his family still come demanding.
Probably don't even know the man has lost the job.
Probably doesn't even know. So I think the man would have to tell the parents that, oh, you know what, I'm not working currently, I've lost my job, and it's my wife that is doing everything. So I think that your demands, you know, we won't be able to do everything we were doing for you when I was working. So I think if the man too exercises that, you know, boldness to be able to...
I'm sure they'll even respect the woman even some more.
Yes. Wow.
Well, this one says, good evening, Mommy.
Good evening.
I have a female friend. We are both Christians. And by the grace of God, we have prayed about our marriage. We've dated. And per the dreams we have both had, it shows that we are meant together. But I went to the hospital for a blood donation, and the technician told me that my results showed I am AS. And recommended that if I am going to get married, I should have the woman test as well. So I advised my lady, she went to test, and she is also AS.
Oh my God.
We are confused. God or the doctor, who do we choose?
Wow.
That's how he decides to approach it.
Wow. God or the doctor?
Or the doctor, who do we choose?
So, interestingly, we have handled a couple like that. And the general advice is that if both of you have an S in your whatever blood grouping, then it is not advisable to continue the relationship into marriage, because you are likely to have children with SS. And the child or the human being who have an SS has medical challenges. You might end up spending all your resources going through the hospital and spending money. So in this case, God has spoken through the doctors. That's what I would advise. Go with the wisdom that the doctors have provided, and unless you want to get married and have no children, that's what I would say. But I don't know what other counselors would say.
Mama Rosemont.
So, I don't think God will make a mistake. My question is, are you sure you prayed and God said, this is the woman for you? Or because of the friendship and the level of Christianity, you believe that, oh, she's a good Christian? For, like Reverend Patrick said, maybe God is speaking through the doctors. Because if nobody can tell you don't marry, as for that one, we will just advise. AS is not a good combination. If you decide to go ahead and stay away from having children, that is you. But if you want to have children, if you go ahead and you marry and you start having challenges, don't say God has disappointed you. Because even before you say I do, this has come up and you decided to go ahead, then God hasn't disappointed you. So my admonition, listen to medical advice and pray God will give you A or O positive or something that you wouldn't have to go unless you don't want children.
Okay, maybe I would handle it differently. So number one, Mama Rosemont said, are you extremely sure? I don't know who said it. Mama Rosemont said, are you extremely sure that God is putting you together? I mean, that is the first point. Are you extremely sure that God is putting you together? If you are 100% sure that God wants the two of you to get married, then certainly God will make a way. Number two, when people come to me, ASAS, I first find out how old are they. If they are in their 20s, early 20s, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, my advice would be to break up. But sometimes when it's 27, 28, 29, then there's a question mark. If they separate, it's easy for the man to get somebody. But if they separate and nobody comes for the woman, then it's a problem. So my advice, if you are old, especially 30 plus, you can go in believing God. Number two, if God says you must go in, then go in with prayer. Go in with fasting. Go in trusting God. I know AS that got married to another AS. First child, AA.
Wow.
Second child, AA. My darling, if God gives you two AAs or two AS, don't be selfish. After the second one,
you close shop.
Close shop. Go and tie your womb. That is the truth. If God blesses you, and the first one AA, second one AS, my darling, let it not be a comma. Let it be a full stop. Recently, somebody came to me like that. The man is AS, the woman is AS. They are firstborn AA. Secondborn AA. God was on their side. They said to themselves, they are not having another. Unfortunately, you are not having another. They didn't do anything about it.
Oh dear.
The woman gets pregnant. Now they call me, asking permission to go and abort. I said, as for that one, it's a no for me.
Never.
You may never know. The same way we trusted for the firstborn, the same way we trusted for the secondborn, let's trust for the third one. And honestly, I'm also praying with them that God will work a miracle. And incidentally, they have 2 boys.
Okay.
When they went to check the sex of the baby, it's a girl. Wow. So I said, as for this one, God has come through for us. So you see, that is why when you are going into a relationship, my darling, you don't take it lightly. Add prayer. Don't let sex go ahead of you. When you make sex go ahead of you, you miss the blessing of the Lord. But as long as you go into the relationship with prayer, you can get the miracle of these people. Where 2 AS, but not even a child is AS. And I'm trusting God that the third one, AA or AS. So, our advice to you, number 1, what are your ages? If you are young, in your early 20s, unless you're extremely sure, 200% sure that God is saying go into it. If God says go into it, then please, if anything happens, don't blame God. But the truth is that if you go to Kolebu or any hospital and go to the sickle cell department and you see the sickle cell children there, my darling, you won't want to marry anybody when you are SS. You won't want to marry AS. You won't want to marry SS. If you are AS, you won't want to go and marry AS. If you are AC, you won't want to go and marry AS. This is something that we discuss extensively here in family life. If you didn't listen to us, please go back and play the tape on, when you have to marry the genotype,
right.
Your blood group and all that is so important. So I think you got us very well. If you are very sure that is from God, go ahead trusting God. Otherwise, if you are young, I think it would be best to break up. But if you are old, go in trusting God.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, question. I want to ask
Sure.
you a question. Can they decide that they will go ahead but not have kids and just?
It's also very possible. It's also very possible. You can decide that if the two of you love each other so much and you think that your lives are intertwined with each other, I mean, why not? Go into it. You can decide not to have children. Yeah. You can adapt a child. You can do surrogate. It only comes with a price.
Yeah.
But otherwise, people have gone into marriages. They haven't had children, and they are still very happy.
Yeah.
They adopt, and the children are their own. So you can also do that.
Great. Sound counsel you won't get anywhere but Family Life series here with Mama Rita and her seasoned counselors. We'll take one more question before we go for our break, and then we'll read all the other questions that are coming in tonight. This one says, hello, good evening, Mommy.
Good evening.
An interesting one. Say, please, I am 26 years and I have a child with a married man who is having 6 children from his marital home and 2 other children from another source. He's 47 years. He's expressed interest in marrying me as a second wife. And I'm scared because of the total number of children he has. Please advise me.
Well, the first question is the man still married to his first wife?
Yes.
Because the man said, she said, the man wants to marry her as a second wife.
We can't, that is a no-no. number one reason is the fact that the man is already married, and then the second reason is that he has 6 children plus 2. And yours is
9.
9 children. It is not advisable. You made a mistake in getting pregnant with him, but getting into his house, you're just multiplying the problem.
Yeah.
You know, so this I wouldn't.
I don't know if you want to add on. My darling, in the first place, the man is 47. And you are 26. He's twice your age, or almost twice your age. Your father, that is your father, or your father's brother. So, in the first place, you started wrongly. The gap, he will forever see you as a child. He will forever see you as one of
another source.
The children. Number 2, his older children will never accept you as a stepmom. Trust me. They will never ever accept you as a stepmom. So, first, the age gap. Number 2, the man already has 8 children. You have 1. You are going to add up to be 9. If anything happens and the first wife is not there, are you going to be ready to take care of your own plus 8 other children? If you are ready for it, that's fine. But I think that you made a mistake. People make mistakes, they correct it. I always say that the biggest fool is the one who will make a mistake twice. You did the first one. You are supposed to learn out of the mistake. God is supposed to give you a second chance to start all over your life. But if you continue to make the same mistakes, then it means that you're a big fool. So for me, there are too many red flags. The man is already married, not married with 1 child, but married with 8 children. Are you sure that he has what it takes to take care of his 8 children plus your 4 children? That's what is his first wife going to accept you as another wife? And then number 3, will his older children accept you as their stepmom? If all these things, you take it and you know you don't have good answers, but please then rewrite your paper.
There's even another 3rd woman in the picture, the mother of the other 2.
That's it.
There's another woman in the picture.
And the fact that he's married 1, had a child,
2 children with another.
2 children with another woman. The possibility that you are not only going to be, there are not going to be just 2 of you or 3 of you. There's going to be somebody else. So if you don't mind that even after you, the man marries another one, then that's fine. But at 26, my darling, you have an opportunity to meet your own husband, just my husband, and just me. It is possible. I think that with this, we will go on a short commercial break and we'll be back. I'm enjoying it so much that I'm not even looking at time. We've gone beyond 30 minutes. But just a short commercial break and we'll be back with Ask Mama Rita.
Hello people of God, this is Reverend Papa and I'd like to specially invite you this and every Friday to prayer, miracle and prophetic service right here, Royal House Chapel. Every Friday, we are lifting up prayer. It's a time of worship, it's a time of the prophetic. You don't want to miss out at all. I will be there with other sons of the Apostle General and it's going to be a wonderful time in the presence of God. The Bible says, be anxious for nothing, but by prayer and supplication, lift up unto God. Join me this and every Friday. It's prayer, prophetic, worship, and a wonderful time with miracles. 6 p.m. every Friday. I'll see you there. God bless you.
Welcome back to Family Life with Mama Rita. Today, we are doing Ask Mama Rita. In other words, all the previous questions, all the questions that you have asked, we are answering them. If you have more questions whilst we are answering, you can ask more questions and we will answer you. In the beginning, I said if we are not able to answer all the questions, we will do Ask Mama Rita again. With me in the studio today are seasoned counselors. I mean, they are no strangers to family life. Reverend and Pastor. Hey,
Reverend.
I'm confusing God.
Reverend and Reverend.
Can you imagine? I was even going to call you deacon. I didn't know levels had changed. Oh my God. So Reverend and Reverend Mrs. Patrick Yorson, I mean, one of my seasoned
Sharp
counselors here. They do so well. And almost everybody they have handled, their marriages are doing well. So please be with us as we answer all the previous questions and the new questions that will come in today. Co-hosts.
Yep.
I don't know when I'm going to have your wife in the studio.
Hey, we are ready. We are
You are ready. Hey.
She's ready with her law books.
With her law books.
Yeah, we'll come and answer questions.
Hey.
All right.
But how is she doing with the law?
By God's grace.
I know it's not easy.
Yeah, but she's...
mother, wife, student,
Oh, yeah.
Working full time. Hey.
But she's a strong lady. Very,
She's a strong lady.
Very sharp and intelligent.
Wow.
I think my system has adjusted her system with an upgrade of...
Not her system has adjusted your system.
My system has influenced her. The orthogonal system is potent. Yeah.
Orthogonal plus Achimota system.
It's Odochimota. All right, this one says good evening.
I like that. Odochimota.
Yeah, Odomota. Yeah. Good evening, Mama Rita.
Good
I am
evening.
really enjoying your program. Please, I have a small problem. Looking at the way you've written plenty, it doesn't look small. I am dating this gentleman. I really love him so much. He's actually been very supportive, gives ear to me whenever I need someone to talk to. We've grown a very good bond. I have a child with someone else. But it is this gentleman who is actually taking care of my daughter, paying for her fees, and is always available providing the father figure for her. We are planning to get married later this year. But mommy, few months ago, he cheated on me. We spoke about it, and genuinely, I forgave him. But 2 weeks ago, I discovered he's done the same thing with another woman.
Oh my God.
And I'm currently so hurt. I'm not too sure if I trust him anymore like I did before. Please, what should I do?
Wow. This is tough.
Yeah.
You have somebody who listens to you, is there for you, taking care of your daughter from a previous relationship.
Yeah.
And now this man is also cheating on you. What do you do? Is it a red flag?
Immediately, yes. And I would say that you may have to push the marriage further away and get to work out this particular challenge, because it seems to be a challenge that he has. Having cheated once, you resolved it, forgive him, and he has done the same thing again. Maybe the question I would ask is, are you in church? If you are not in church, then you probably should find yourself in church. One of the major means by which marriage succeeds is Christian character.
Yeah.
And I can say that one more time. It is Christian character that sustains a marriage. And don't get me wrong that non-Christians don't succeed in their marriage. What I mean is the character. So there could be people who may not be Christians, but they exhibit Christian character. So if you are in church and you are not in church, then I will recommend that you get into church and begin to build Christian character. That will help you to obtain inner strength for him specifically, so that he can be able to work on that. Push the marriage further into the future, talk about this challenge, and see how best we can resolve it. I am not recommending straight away that walk away, because the gentleman has demonstrated good behavior and may be able to overcome this challenge when given the chance or given the opportunity to correct it. But work out the issues that have arisen. This is a big challenge to a major pillar in the marriage, the pillar of trust. You know, it has broken it or shaken it, and it needs to be reworked. So push it into a little bit into the future and work this one out if you can. That's what I can say. But if you cannot, then I don't know. The other counselors will.
Okay, so I was going to like toe your line a little, but a little shift from that. All that glitters is not gold.
Yeah.
For all you know, God is telling you something. He's doing all the right things to get you to marry.
Yeah.
But if you marry him and this is what you are going to do, you need to weigh the options.
Yeah.
Do you want a man that will take care of you and all that and cheat on you? Or if you can't stand the cheating, then immediately he's not your husband. You know, if all is going well, and like mommy says all the time, you don't see a red flag, it's fine. But once you see a red flag, it means that you should set up. You need to spend more time in prayer and find out if this is really the man God wants you to marry. If that is the man God wants you to marry, then it means that there's revelation brings redemption, right? So it means that there is redemption. So after praying and counseling, it might change. But if that is not where God is sending you, then there's a red flag that you need to look at. And don't let the glittering tell you that it's gold. And then you go and take it, and it will be the wolf in sheep clothing.
My issue, I always ask people, assuming the person doesn't change, is this something you'll be able to deal with? Assuming you caught him twice, but trust me, there are others you didn't catch. So assuming he doesn't change, and within the marriage, he's still doing it, would you be able to deal with it? If you think that it's something you can't deal with, then advise yourself now. He's done it once, he's done it a second time. The possibility of doing it a third time is very high. So it's something that you really, really, like Reverend Patrick is saying, put a hold on the marriage, watch him from afar. We wouldn't say stop with the relationship. If you stop, you go and stop completely, and you don't get the attention you want. You don't get somebody to pay your fees. You come and blame us. But what we are saying is sit back, ask yourself questions. If it's something it doesn't change, would you be able to deal with it? If you can't deal with it, then advise yourself.
All right, sound counsel. Next question, quite straightforward. Says, good evening, Mommy.
Good evening.
He gives his name and his location is from Kade. Does age really matter when it comes to relationships or marriage? I am 39 years old and she's 24 years. Please advise if we can proceed. I am falling in love.
Who is 39?
The gentleman is 39.
And the lady
is 24. 15 years difference. Does age really matter? He asks.
Age does matter in relationships because age kind of influences your perspective and your approach to issues. And so 39, let's say you are 40, and this lady is 24. She's young and happy-go-lucky, jumping all over the place. Probably at 40, you may want to slow down, and so that kind of conflict will be there, except where a 24-year-old thinks like a 35-year-old. And I've seen that. Somebody is 24, but she behaves like she's 35. So the age does matter, but maybe maturity is what counts more in this case. So if there is not that challenge where she wants to be running all over and you want to slow down, then it is possible that you can work something out, you know. But I think that we have said here in this particular meeting severally that the voice of God is very important in the choice of your life partner. So if you are afraid and you believe that this woman can work it out with you, 1, 2, the factors that we are talking about are check, then probably you can proceed. That's in summary. But I'm sure that there are a few things that...
So, yes, age matters, but it depends on the two of you.
Yeah.
You are 39. Are you willing to can you not treat the 24 as a child?
Yeah.
And come down to her level and make her happy? 24, is she not willing to see you as a father figure and treat you like a father and treat you like a husband and be able to match up with you in your likes and dislikes? If you can do that, why not? But where you kind of feel like you are behaving childish, and then it becomes, currently we are handling a couple, and I think that is their challenge. The guy feels very matured and thinks that the girl is behaving childish, and and it becomes a problem in the marriage. So if you are 39 and you believe you can come down to her level and allow her to live her youth and grow up gradually, why not? Yeah, you can. But if not, then get your age mate. Then you'll be
So, I think they've answered, and they've answered so well. Number one, 39 and 24. Will your friends be his friends? Or will your friends be her friends? At 39, remember that his friends will be 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. When you meet, as couples, would you be able to relate to his friends? And to the man who is 39, if she's 24, her friends are 20, 21, 22, 23. When you go out and they are giggling and they are all over the place, would you be able to stand to that? Will her friends be your friends? So this is what we look at. And if you think that her friends can be your friends, his friends can be her friends, then you must know that is a no-go area. Number two, like we said, every dispensation and what they do, every age group or age bracket and what they do. At 39, within a year, you would have entered into your 40s. Yeah. In 10 years, you'll be in your 50s. You think differently from somebody who is in their 20s and in the 30s. So at that stage, when you are thinking about saving, and you are thinking about, investment, she's also thinking about ice cream.
Go to Dubai.
Go to Dubai. Have fun. That's what. So this is why we think that it is good for people to marry their age mates. Yeah. Then you think alike. And then the last one is where it comes to sex. As you grow older, you get weaker. Yeah. Your sex drive comes down. That is why the Bible says that marry the wife of your youth. In other words, you all grow together. So if you are all in your 60s, you are all in your 70s, the sex drive will be the same. But where you are 70, she's 30-something or she's 40-something, and she wants sex every day, and you can't give it every day, then it becomes a problem. So these are things you need to think about. Yes, she might feel matured. Yeah. I know somebody who came to Sunday school and said, this place is not my place. This place is full of children. Meanwhile, at that time, she was 7. Wow. She was 7. She said, no. In those days, we didn't even have teen service. She said, no. These people behave like kids. And I was so surprised. Yeah. And today, Reverend Miani, who was one of our convention speakers, the son is old now. When he was about 9, maybe 8, 9. Had friends who were also 8, 9, but would also hang up with older boys. And when I remember one time we went to South Africa for their convention, and he was hanging out with the older ones, and his younger friends who were his age mates had come around, and you should see Luvuno. Oh, you know, we are having serious meetings. We are having serious meetings. Please go and wait for me. This meeting is beyond you.
Hey.
At that time, he was thinking like a mature person.
Yeah.
You get people like that. Yeah. I met somebody who said, Mommy, as for me, I know I would never be able to marry somebody my age. I've never gone out with my age mates. I always went out with older people. I hung out with older people. So if you have a person like that, and the person thinks like you, though young, thinks like you, then that's fine. But otherwise, if the person thinks like her age mates, it will be a no-go area for you.
All right. So please think twice about this. You are thinking about Gmail, the person is looking at TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, different generations.
Yes. Yes. He's thinking about what?
Gmail.
Gmail.
And Yahoo. This one is thinking about TikTok and Snapchat.
The generation is not the same.
This one says, hello, good evening.
Good evening.
I need your counsel, Mommy. I met this young lady outside church where she was non-Christian. And by God's grace, I brought her to church and she became a part of us. We became very good friends. We started having feelings for each other. But the problem was she happened to be in a relationship with another guy, which was a distance relationship. I didn't know what was going on between them until 4 months ago when she told me that she had broken up with a guy she was going out with. We started our relationship. It looked rosy from the beginning, but I didn't propose due to shyness. And however, for 1 year, we were together, we were going on dates, we were exchanging pleasantries. During this period, I found out many times that she was still engaged with this gentleman. He said they had broken up. At some point, I noticed she had cheated. I confronted her and forgave her because of the love I have for her. It happened again. I asked this lady, and she said it's because I hadn't proposed to her. She wasn't too sure what my intentions were. Meanwhile, I was doing everything for this lady, financially, spiritually, emotionally, etc. Still, she is chatting with this gentleman secretly. I think she doesn't appreciate anything I do for her. What should I do?
Mama Rosemont.
A long one.
It's an interesting one.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah. So if this lady has been with you and you have not said to her
Yeah.
expressly that
Yeah.
you want a relationship,
Yeah.
then she's free to have
Yeah.
relationships elsewhere.
Yeah.
And so that's the challenge that
Yeah.
you are having.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely no relationship
Yeah.
as far as she's
Yeah.
concerned. You are not you have not expressed, you are doing all the things. She considers you as a nice gentleman who has brought me to church and is probably making me comfortable in church so that I will stay. So long as you have not expressly told her that you and I are having a love affair, in your message you said you exchanged pleasantries. It's very different from expressing love to her. And so if you've done this for a year and so on, she probably considers you as her quote-unquote Christian brother and does not see you as a lover for that matter. So then the other question is, you said she cheated. I don't know what you mean because there's no commitment between the two of you. So where is the cheat in this one? You know. So I really am not sure exactly, but the lady does not consider you. From where I sit, she does not consider you as her.
And Reverend Patrick, within the relationship, the lady told him, I have broken up with my boyfriend. Broken up, in other words, she was trying to give you a message.
Yeah.
I've broken up, I am free. Open your mouth and propose.
That's right.
And you are not proposing.
Mr. POP.
And what the lady is doing is, she doesn't want to totally, 100% break up the relationship with the first one. So that assuming you don't propose to her, she misses this one.
Right.
So my darling, it's your fault.
Yes.
If you love her, forgive her for the so-called cheating on you. Propose to her and find out, after proposing to her, will she now have a relationship with the first one? Will she now be cheating on you? If she's now cheating on you, she's now communicating with this person, then you have a case. But as it is now, she doesn't consider you as a lover, a fiancé or a lover or something. Because the truth is that she's not sure. If you are sure you love her, propose to her.
If you love, propose. Don't be
The person
Mr.
came and
POP.
says, I broke up with my... Why do you think she told you I broke up? She's broken up because she's free. She wants you now to open your mouth. As long as you haven't opened your mouth. And the truth is that it's happened to a lot of ladies where they hung around men for so long, hoping that the men will propose. Meanwhile, in the minds of the men, we are free. We are very good friends, but not lovers. They hung around the men a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Only after 5, 6 years, for the men to bring them invitation cards that I'm getting married to
And say,
somebody.
come and pop champagne for me.
So the lady doesn't want that to happen in her life. So if you really, really love her, please propose to her and let's see what happens after this one.
All right.
Until you propose, please, she hasn't wronged you in any way.
So, Chairman General, ab initio, there was no cheating. So please do the needful. If you are struggling, we have one gentleman in our office here. He's called Adam. He's very good at proposals. He would help you out. Good evening, Mommy. My problem is that we have been married for 14 years now, but my husband keeps chatting and texting other ladies. Not one.
We have another 14 years.
Another 14 years, interestingly. But her problem. My husband keeps chatting and texting other ladies. Not one or two, but multiple. He texts them romantic messages, and some of them I've discovered are even pornographic. I always complain to him. Initially, he would be remorseful about it, but this time around, he said it makes him happy, so he's not going to stop, since he doesn't have sex with them. Mommy, what do I do?
Wow.
Question is, how is your romantic affair like at home with your husband? Unfortunately, a couple of women, as soon as they get married, they forget that there is anything called romance. It could also be that the man himself is not pulling his weight. But let's focus on the general issue. The fact is that what he's doing is not right. I do not endorse it. As soon as you get married, you should focus on your wife, and if there's something that she's unable to do, you encourage her to do it so that you build your marriage. Grow your own grass and enjoy the grass that you are growing. So if you are chatting with other women, that's not encouraging. But maybe as a woman, ask yourself, are you as romantic, as appealing as you were when you were dating? Or now you are focused on children and keeping the house and all of those things that women get busy with? Probably you are unavailable. The days that he even tries to come home and spend time with you, you are not available. So he comes home, he sits there, and he's on his phone doing these things. But if you are doing all of that, and he's still doing that, then I think that you may need to seek external help. You know, I'm sure they.
Mama
so like Reverend Patrick is saying, if he's watching and texting other women. Probably his love language is what he sees. So when he comes home, what does he see? How is your dressing like? How do you talk to him? Is it always a fight, or is always a complaint, or is always a I want something, I need something, or you make him feel good? Do what the other women are doing.
Yeah.
Because if that is what makes him happy, then you have to, if you don't do it, somebody else will do it for you. And then you have challenges. So do what the other women are doing. And I always say that if, remember you said I shouldn't say that. So I was going to say it. I always say that, look, if you're a married woman, you are permitted to be, or so should I say?
Go ahead.
You are permitted to
I've given you the permission.
Yes, ma'am. You are permitted to be the prostitute in your bedroom.
Yeah.
Of course.
If you're a married woman, do what your husband likes. And let your husband enjoy you. When your husband enjoys you, he won't go outside.
That's right.
And go and seek any woman anywhere. So, as much as possible, women, let's stop, I'm tired. And then we stop dressing up. You don't look sharp anymore.
He comes home, you are busy.
Doing everything else apart from taking care of him. You know, that kind of thing that makes them feel good. Do it and see if your husband, but like Reverend Patrick is saying, if you are doing all that and still he's doing it, then you need counseling. The two of you need to seek counseling and get into some prayer time and let God speak for you.
I think you answered it. You answered it so well. I think she heard us. Dress well. Have time for the man. Don't be, I always tell people, don't be born again in your bedroom. In other words,
I prefer that.
That's why
than being a prostitute. So I spoke for you. Oh my God. So please, if you are doing all these things, I don't think that the man would, be having fun outside. But in any case, if you do it and he's still like that, then it means that there's a problem. Then you need a counselor to come in.
Wow. We'll take a couple, probably one or two more questions.
One or two.
This one says, hello, good evening, Mommy.
Good evening.
Please, I need your advice. I got married last year.
Oh, wow.
But I've come to realize that my husband is too calm and cool, to the point that whenever there is a disagreement or a quarrel, very serious issues, all he will say is, yo. He's a very serious believer of Christ too. What should I do?
Want to know getting no one.
So she asks another message, says, I feel he might not be able to stand in for me when very serious matters also arise. Well, that's the next thing she added to this.
I don't know what it is.
Well, it could be because of his temperament.
Yeah.
If he's a calm person or a phlegmatic, he won't. You can't change him. You married a year ago. It means that you know him to be that calm before you decided to say I do. Don't try and change him after you have said I do. Otherwise, you will be the one who has changed. Because he's like that. You can't rewire him. He is calm. Appreciate him the way he is. Enjoy his strength and see how you can complement his weaknesses.
Just a little twist to it would be that maybe in the 1 year that you've been together, his responses have not, quote unquote, fallen down very well with you. So he has decided that I'll just say you accept what you're saying for now and think about it and come back later with a question or a suggestion. So give him time, and I think that he's just being cautious. Otherwise, it could also be his temperament, which you were not very much aware of. I always describe the phlegmatics as this: there's a bomb blast outside the window, he's sitting here. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. It's cool. He will find out later what happened. So if he's that type of person, what you are saying and see as, he's calm about it. He will probably address it eventually, but he's, for the moment, very, very calm about it.
I want to seize this opportunity to talk to every person in a relationship. And when I talk about relationship, I'm talking about a relationship before marriage. Get to know your partner. Know what you are going in for. I don't think that your husband got this calm, attitude within the marriage. He's always been like that. So before the marriage, you know who you are getting married to. If you think that this is not what I want, don't go into it. So this is your husband. If his temperament is like that, my darling, you can't do anything about it. That is the way he is. In any case, maybe you are not getting the best out of him because you are also too forceful. Maybe when you are communicating with him, before he says anything, you would have said 1,000 words. And if he's a typical flag and doesn't want confrontation, he will just leave you to do whatever you want and say whatever you want. And all he will say is you, like you said. So maybe in your communication with him, you to tone down a bit. Yeah. Tone down a bit and get the best out of him. If you don't tone down, you won't get the best out of him. But in any case, he's a temperament. That is the way he is. And what people do not know, that you might have a flag, but they are not pushovers.
Yeah, yes, truly.
He might be cool, but where he needs to stand up for himself or stand up for you, he'll be able to do it. So sometimes people think that, oh, he's too cool, she's too cool, I can do anything that I want. When they make up their minds, my darling, there's no turning back. So please don't underrate your husband. Calm down to his level and communicate with him very well. And you realize that he's a nice guy. He's not as soft as you think. Somebody came to tell me, Mama Rita, you people, you think my husband is cool. And we knew him as this typical flag. You people in church, you think my husband is cool. He's not cool. Oh. When he gets angry, I say, you see. So he's not what you think he is all the time. When they flare up, it's something else. Yeah. Can we take the last question?
Yeah, the last one. The last one.
The last one.
You might as well pray that you don't get to that serious point where you flare up.
Yeah.
You probably might not like it.
Yeah.
All right.
And my darling, for all you know, other people too are looking for your kind of husband. So that's why we say want to know, get no want. Some people have, they want it, they don't get it. Yeah. And some people get it, they don't appreciate it. So for all you know, your kind of man is somebody else's gold. Yeah, so whatever God has given you 1 year is too early to nag, it's too early to complain. Appreciate what God has given to you. And once you appreciate what God has given to you, you realize that, oh, what you had was gold after all.
Well, our last question for this episode, but you might still want to keep your questions coming through. Mama Rita is definitely going to make time and address every single one of them. +233 200 515253. We would appreciate it if you click on that subscribe button on Powerline TV YouTube. Share it on your status, share it on Facebook, share it on YouTube, share it on Twitter, any platform where you are very active. Let this message go out. You have no idea whose relationship, whose marriage, whose life you'll be touching with the voice of Mama Rita and the counsel from her seasoned guest in the studios. Final question. Good evening, Mama Rita.
Good evening.
I'm in a relationship with this gentleman. He doesn't go to church. He drinks alcohol a lot. And I think he's having an affair with different ladies apart from me. There is another guy, Guy B. He loves the work of God. He is very active in church, a committed Christian. He wants to marry me, but mommy, Guy B isn't caring like Guy A. He won't call for like 3 days. Meanwhile, Guy A calls me almost every day. Guy B is always busy, but tells people he's going to marry me. I have been praying for a sign from God, but mommy, I am seeing nothing. What should I do right now?
This is quite simple.
Yeah.
The Guy A is giving you a billboard, not a red flag.
Yeah.
It's a big red board.
Yeah.
You know, you are in a relationship with him. He has other ladies on the side, and he's successful in that area because of his sweet mouth and caring nature. Guy B may not be the romantic, extra caring kind of person, but he has demonstrated that he loves God and he's committed. You know, I don't know if the first person has even mentioned marriage yet. And so if you see a red flag, Mama Rita will tell you, run as fast as your legs can carry you. This one is not a flag, it's a billboard. So please fly away, I would say. That's all.
So I would say that for all you know, Guy B hasn't said anything because he's also praying. And you are dating two men, he and somebody else who is not a Christian. And God is asking him to wait, or he's also praying and he hasn't gotten the green light to ask you or take you to the altar for marriage. If you will step back and be a good Christian and dwell with the similar yoke, God will move.
Amen.
You will see what you need to see. You will hear what you need to hear. But as long as you are doing
Guy A, Guy B.
A, Guy B, Guy A,
what's his section B
one
questions?
with a big billboard. What's his section A? Then God will also sit back. It means that you don't even trust the God that you are serving. God will sit back and watch you for you to take your decision. But if you believe that you are walking in the will of God, then look at the billboard and flee.
Amen.
And then seek God. Don't seek Guy B. Seek God and let God give you the right man and the right answer.
Reverend, I handled one case here. Similar. Guy A and Guy B. Guy A was very caring, will call, was very romantic, was the one who would take you out for light dinner, you know, that kind of thing. And Guy B was so creepy, born again, church, you know, that kind of thing. One time, Guy B invited her out. They had a date, let's go and talk, you know, that kind of thing. Maybe that day he was going to propose. But they were supposed to meet here so that they go. Immediately they got here. The deacons were washing communion cups. Those were the days that we used to use commercial. So the deacons were washing communion cups. Instead of going for a date, the gentleman said, you know what? They are washing communion cups. Let's go and help in washing the cups. So he looked at the first one, looked at the second one and said, no. This second one will be boring when I marry him. Let me go for the first one. But what the lady did was that he came for counseling. So she came to talk to me that these are the two men I have. I said, you know what? Like you are saying, this first one is a billboard. The second one, somebody that loves God. Somebody that when you are going out for a date and there's business to do in God's house, will say, let's forget about the date. Let's marry this person. I said, listen, this is the one you must trust. She listened to me, went into the marriage with Guy B. Today, they are married for 10 years.
Wow.
Realize that guy B is romantic.
After all.
Realize that guy B is the one who will understand her, understand her background, understand the family she's coming from. Guy B is the one who will take good care of her. And today she's happily married. My darling, don't go for romance from the beginning. Don't go for the ones who give you sweet talks from the beginning. Don't go for the one who take you everywhere. Film, restaurant, everywhere in the beginning. Don't. Look for genuine love. Look for somebody that fears God. Look for somebody that trusts God. Look for somebody in the house of the Lord. That person will take you far. My darling, the one you think is romantic within the marriage will be a playboy. He's the one who will be everybody's boyfriend. He's the one who will be sleeping with everybody around. The second one is the one that will take you beyond your dreams. Until then, I don't know if you have anything to say before, but I want to say a very big thank you for coming to the studio with me today. Thank you for being a part of family life. Thank you for helping me answer all the questions that have come up. I don't know if have we finished answering all the questions?
No, not
yet.
at all.
Oh my God.
Not at all.
I'm sure more came in today that we haven't answered.
Very true.
So
very true.
if I need you next week, you will come again. But until then, have a good night. Take good care of yourself. I don't know the medical term for it, but we call it Apollo, where the eyes gets infected and it's so painful. You wake up in the morning and it feels like there's sand on your eyes. What do you have to do? Just like we did during the COVID. Wash your hands. Make sure that COVID taught us something that we don't shake everybody. But as typical Ghanaians, we go shaking please, I do this. And sometimes people feel that I'm not nice. It's not that I'm being nice. I'm not being nice. I'm only taking good care of myself. Let's go back to the hygiene we acquired and we adopted during the COVID time. Wash your hands very often. Use your sanitizers. Shake this way. And then don't be in the habit of rubbing your eyes. And let's take very good care of our children. Make sure that they are washing their hands when they come back from school. Even in school, let them wash their hands very well. And we will eliminate Apollo in our system. Until then, make a date with me. Same day, same time next week. God bless you. And from the studios of Powerline,
yep,
I say we love you.
We love you.
Have a good night. Bye.